What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 116 of the ChumpCast. Brick is in Constantinople or some shit this week, so Mark and I held down the brand new ChumpCave. We get through the normal nonsense and review the Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody. You can find us on all social media platforms at the ChumpCast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough voicemail, you might hear yourself on a future episode. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm late for my therapy appointment to get the image of Rami Malek's giant fake teeth out of my dreams. So who's going to needlessly derail us all episode this time?
Nobody. Maybe me getting comfy on this couch, which is amazing.
That couch is nice.
It's probably the best thing yet.
But also, Dave Chappelle, fuck that couch. They had to take the door off of my house to get that thing down in the basement.
The movers?
Yeah, that thing is massive.
Yeah, so when'd you move in?
Last Saturday, so a week ago today. And you can tell that I still have not finished nearly as much as I thought I would. But, I had to work all week.
The house is very nice, by the way. Congrats on closing and moving in.
Thank you.
But I was surprised that everything is pretty much good to go. Like appliances, woodwork, everything looks good. Like all you have to do is just figure out your setup pretty much.
Yeah, which is still ungodly expensive.
Yeah, but imagine if you were like, oh, I got to redo those cabinets or fix that countertop. That's annoying.
We didn't even have to paint, which is awesome.
Yeah, that too. Painting's the worst.
Painting is the fucking worst.
Especially overhead painting. If you're painting the ceiling and you're just like, my fucking shoulder is falling
dripping
off.
Pain into your tears running down your face. It's terrible. But there's a lot of shit. Like, I got to get a lawnmower. I'm so domesticated now. Like, we went and got a Costco membership this morning. I know you are the main spokesperson for Costco.
Costco, where the bosses go.
Oh, my God.
Looking like a boss, though. Head to toe in Costco when I'm wearing my Kirkland jeans.
I did go this morning and just look through, and I was like, God, I'm going to blow all my fucking money here.
Especially on TV, because they always put the super 4K high def 80-inch TVs right when you walk in, and you're just like, stop, babe. I got to check these out.
We saw one this morning that was 82 inches. And I was like,
82?
Dude.
Put an extra 2 inches on that sucker.
I know. But it's also $3,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Black Friday. We need a TV for the basement, and we'll get one. And I promise everybody the live stream will be back up soon, but we've kind of been in a transitionary period. This is going to be a lot better than the old ChumpCave.
A lot more space.
And maybe now it'll be easier to get guests to come on, and we're not sitting in a room full of bricks farts.
I know. It's going to seem a lot more natural to us sitting here on a couch and not have to be on a high stool top, tabletop setup.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but we made it work.
It's exciting, too, knowing that there's a lot more to do and you just having to picture how you're going to do your whole setup and everything. Like you're looking at couches and TVs and all that shit. That's fun, though.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Until you mount something, you're like, I actually kind of want it on that wall.
I cut a giant hole in my living room wall to recess my TV mount.
Yeah. Did you have any problems getting where the studs off? Because sometimes the studs are off. You're like, I want it here.
No, but I found where the studs were, and I cut this giant hole in the wall. And as soon as I pull the drywall out, there's an HVAC vent right there. I'm like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, damn.
So I just kind of made it work, but it wasn't ideal. What are you going to do?
That's annoying. My bedroom didn't even have studs, or they were metal studs, and they weren't your typical. What are they usually, 3 feet apart or something?
No, they're 18 inches.
Okay. They weren't the typical 18 inches. They were close to probably 4 feet apart. They were just.
So when you move into a high rise, be aware of that. That's generally steel studs instead of, traditional framework. But it's nice. You can mount stuff on it that's really heavy.
Yeah.
And your building probably won't fall over in an earthquake, but it's a bitch for mounting stuff. Anyways, we obviously have been pretty busy for the last week. We did a piss poor job of getting out the dumb question. I didn't even write these down, so I'm going to rely on you for the Instagram stuff. But I owe Darian an apology because I skipped over his voicemail last week accidentally. I was traveling all week, or that was 2 weeks ago. I don't know. But he did leave us a voicemail this time. The question was, name a band, a one-hit wonder band, that deserves a biopic treatment a la Bohemian Rhapsody and Queen. So let's hear what Darian had to say.
Okay, man, you already know who it is. It's Dan, repping the South Side. But anyway, though, okay. So I'm thinking, we gonna make a movie on the band the Take On Me Brothers. So I got a picture for a reference. I'm gonna send it to y'all. So I'm speaking from left to right. Okay, so from left, I don't know none of these people's names. I'm gonna just call them White Man A, B, and C. So for White Man A on the left, he gonna be played by James Spader. For White Man B in the middle, he gonna be played by Matt Damon. But I'm talking about like the OG Matt Damon, like when he was in the movie Fear. So they want him for the right, for the geeky look.
Ugh, his voicemail cut out.
No,
Darian, what are you doing? That's on you, homie. We missed 45 seconds of that, but let us know. I'm intrigued to find out who the last AHA band member would be.
Oh my! By the way, this just came to me. I think I sent you the video. AHA, they redid their one-hit one. What is it called? Take On Me?
Take On Me.
Okay.
Which, by the way, the only thing I think of now when I hear that is Pardon My Take with Big Cat and PFT commentary.
Yeah. So the lead singer, whoever his name was, whoever you mentioned, it was kind of like an MTV Unplugged. It wasn't, though. It was for some other recording studio session or whatever. But anyways, they came back and they just redid that song in an acoustic version, and they killed it. Like, I was tearing up, and they played it in Deadpool 2. That was in the theatrical release. So if you bought it on Blu-ray, I think they cut it and people were pissed off about it because that was the scene where, spoilers, his wife got murdered.
Yeah.
And they're doing all the slow-mo shit and playing that song in the background. But my point is, the lead singer, he aged so good. Like, he looks great as an old man. Like, I'm like,
maybe he missed all like the cocaine and shit in the 80s. That's got to be hard to do, though.
I don't know. We'll take a look afterwards, but I'm being dead serious. Like, I wish I could look like this guy when I'm that age.
Damn. All right. What else you got on the Instagram feed?
So we only have a few. Watch It Like says LFO.
Ooh.
What is their one song they had? They might have had two. Oh no, it was
Summer Girls.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Who would play them though? It's got to be somebody that's like, I don't know, Ryan Gosling.
I don't even know how many members were in that band. Was it like
there were three?
Three?
Yeah. There were like 98 Degrees. There were only three of them.
What did LFO stand for? Was that their names?
I have zero idea.
Should I look it up? No. I'm not going to look it up.
Skip that.
All right. So we have LFO, Spore Dust. The O is a zero, though. He says, Take On Me. So we discussed that. That would be a good one. AHA would be great. And B Daisy Spec says, Hadaway 100%.
What is that?
What is Hadaway?
H-A-T-O-A?
H-A-D-D-A-W-A-Y.
What is love? Okay.
Oh.
I never would have known who sang that song. Wow. That's a deep cut. Proud of you. Proud of you, White Trash Betty.
I mean, it's a one-hit wonder when you don't even know who the artist is, but I guess know what that song is. 100%.
What do you think is the biggest one-hit wonder song of all time?
How Far Is Heaven by Los Lonely Boys. How far
Where did you
is
even
heaven
pull that?
Now?
I was going to say like...
Baha Men?
Yeah, that.
Who Let the Dogs Out?
Chumbawamba.
Okay, that might be number one.
That's some good ones, man. The thing about like 70s bands is there weren't really a lot of one-hit wonders. Or at least I don't know of them. I guess maybe I'm not old enough, but that's such a weird thing that you're famous and all of a sudden a year later nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Or worse, you're just holding on to that one song for as long as you can. People will still know you because you haven't left the mainstream of just redoing your song over and over and over again until people just get sick of it.
But like Everlast?
Yeah, exactly like Everlast. I'm looking at top one-hit wonders right now because I know there are some really good ones. Macarena, yeah, for sure. Los Del Rio. Tainted Love by Softshell. What is that song?
It's been covered a few times. Marilyn Manson covered it. It's literally just Tainted Love is the hook.
Vanilla Ice is a one-hit wonder. Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. Because he had Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
I don't know that song.
It was from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
Okay.
Secret of the Ooze, baby.
Was it a good song, though?
Fuck yeah, it was awesome.
Was it catchy?
Probably. Dude, it was so perfect. That's like the most 1992 movie ever.
TJ said on Facebook, Mo Bamba, number 5. Is that Mambo? Wait, yes. What does he say?
Mo Bamba's a basketball player.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's not right. What is it? Mo Mamba?
Mambo number 5.
Mambo.
Mo Bamba.
You're an
Mo Bamba is a rookie in the NBA. That's funny, though. I wonder if he did that. No, he definitely didn't do that on purpose, right?
I have no idea what goes through his head. Mambo number 5. Wait, hold on. Maybe we're missing. Hold on, Mo.
What was that guy's name? Lou Bega.
Mo Bamba is a song by Sheck Wes. It's a rap song.
Never heard of it. Who did Return of the Mac? That's a one-hit wonder, right?
Return of the Mac. Okay, after we look this one up, one last one that we all have to mention. Mark Morrison.
That's definitely a one-hit wonder, right?
No idea who that is. What about Dexy's Midnight Runners? Come on, Eileen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That is as one-hit as it gets.
I would put that in my top 3. I'd probably say Baha Men, Come on, Eileen, and then Chumbawamba.
Okay. We'll get a few more of these trickling in, but I appreciate the contributions from the audience. Sorry for not getting that out sooner. I promise we'll be better about it this week because I'm really pumped up about this question.
Yeah, and I was too busy dressing up like Batman for Halloween and getting my new fucking suit. By the way, go to our Instagram, check out the new gear.
You fucking dork.
New suit, who dis?
Oh my God. For next week, if you haven't seen the newest and best ever addition to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloons, it's a 70-foot long Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Oh my God.
I saw the first video sneak preview of this morning. It looks awesome.
What do you mean a sneak preview? They're doing like test runs for this?
Yeah, they have to. They can't just show up on Thanksgiving Day and just like pray that their balloon inflates and it.
Yeah, they can. That shouldn't be that hard of a thing to get working.
A 70-foot long balloon.
What do they pump in the balloon? Is it helium?
It has to be. Can you imagine if they like everybody just accidentally let go of it at once?
What would happen if they put you inside of the balloon
and they suffocate?
If they pumped it up with helium, yeah, you die instantly.
Yeah.
You would die talking like this, just freaking the fuck out.
But it would also, if you let go of it, it would be like that episode of Rick and Morty where the homeless Santa Claus is like floating over the entire United States.
Yeah.
And they have to blow him up. All right. So anyways, this question felt pretty obvious to me. What cartoon character most deserves their own balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Rick is a pretty good one, actually. You get the big drool mark on his lip.
Yeah.
His eyes are all crossed. Maybe he's got like the hanging lips.
Rick and Morty, I can for sure see that happening in the upcoming years.
No, I think this is more aimed at kids.
They've done Simpsons, right?
Yeah, but even that's...
They did Bart.
Even that's more aimed at kids.
They do Futurama. They do a Big Bender one. That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool, except he'd be drinking a beer and smoking a cigar, so probably not going to happen. This is definitely aimed at younger children. And Dragon Ball Z has violence, but it's not like overt drug use and murder and shit.
They are just beating each other to a pulp and just going for 3 episodes.
Pretty much. Are you caught up on this, by the way?
Dragon Ball Super?
Yeah.
No.
I am catching up as we speak.
How are you catching up?
On Hulu.
On Hulu?
Yeah.
They have it on Hulu?
They do.
Fuck. Okay. I need to watch it then.
Yes, you do.
By the way, Hulu, I didn't look that far into the notes, but are you going to mention King of the Hill?
No, but you can.
Yeah, they're coming to Hulu, and I'm super excited
on there.
about
I saw it this morning. So.
And by the way, I have an idea possibly for next Halloween, and I think it's a great one. How about we be King of the Hill?
Damn it, Bobby.
I'll be Dale.
No, you got to be Boomhauer.
Okay, I can do Boomhauer.
Obviously, Brick is Bill.
I just really wanted to get the Dale Gribble Mac hat, the trucker hat. I really wanted to get one of those.
Bill Dauterive is obviously Brick.
Yeah. Brick will be Bill. You maybe should be Dale. I'll be Boomhauer, and we'll have to find somebody for...
I'll just put a bunch of sand in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I wonder if anybody would know what that was. We just have to stand in front of a fence. We'd have to have somebody carry a fence.
If we dressed up legitimately like what they dress up on the cover as, I think everyone would get it. They're pretty iconic. People recognize King of the Hill characters.
You think Brick would be willing to shave like a horseshoe into his head?
I don't know. We'd make him, though.
He could just show up in one of his undershirts that's already covered in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. And by the way, I didn't know this also. There was a big Hocus Pocus tribute / concert / play the movie at the end type thing going on the TV. And Peggy is voiced by the one witch we all said we'd kill in the Kill Fuck Mary segment.
No shit.
Yeah. Peggy, she does the voice for Peggy.
I had no idea.
I was kind of blown away by that. Fun fact.
That's amazing. And we all thought she just disappeared.
I know. Guess not.
Wow. Good little tidbit there, Mark.
Yeah. Bringing it today.
All right. So you can find us on all social media at the ChumpCast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. Also, I wanted to point out, obviously I moved. I had my internet set up this weekend.
By who? Comcast?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my only choices out here are Comcast and AT&T.
The guy setting up your internet, you're just standing over him, just shaking your head like,
I pretty much was. But it turned out he was actually super cool.
Yeah.
He was around my age. He comes in and obviously he sees my giant setup with all my nerd shit on it, comic books and stuff. He's like, "You see Venom yet?" I was like,
"Dude,
bro, you just opened a door."
Did you listen to a podcast, dude?
Long story short, he's our newest YouTube subscriber.
What about podcast subscription? Did you ask him about?
I told him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I try not to, and I'm probably a bad promoter because of this. I try not to push that on people.
Yeah.
Like if the first thing out of your mouth is, "Oh, I have a podcast," everybody just immediately shuts down.
Yeah. Like, no.
But I brought this up because he's like, "Oh, are you into anime?" And we just started talking bullshit in anime. He had some recommendations for me. I had some for him.
What did you recommend to him?
I recommended Cowboy Bebop.
He hasn't seen Cowboy Bebop?
He had, but that was the first one out of my mouth because it's my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, obviously. Been watching a little bit of My Hero Academia.
I don't want to butcher this. What about Castlevania?
So that just got renewed for a new season on Netflix.
That's on Netflix. Okay.
I have not watched it. I've heard it's really good.
Because I saw some dumb list. I don't want to give any credit to the website, but they were listing all the top animes on streaming services, and Castlevania was there, and I never even thought twice about that show.
I've heard a lot of really good things. I don't know anything about the story.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's vampires, but
I'm just so into One Punch Man right now, and I'm loving it. It's the best.
They released the dub, which is amazing on Netflix. And
really?
Yeah, check it out. All right.
News to us. Boop.
News for the week. We got sequel mania this week. It feels like every sequel ever just got announced. So we're going to start this low and we're going to kind of build up a little bit. But Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson are returning for a follow-up to The Hitman's Bodyguard. You told me you haven't seen this.
No, I have not.
It was on HBO forever, so I'm really surprised. It was fine. Okay. It's not good. It's not bad. It has some funny moments. There are other better sequels involving either Ryan Reynolds or Samuel L. Jackson. They must have had a lot of fun filming this. Otherwise, there's no reason they would have come back.
I was kind of hoping they were going to do the other guy. This has nothing really to do with Samuel Jackson. I was going to say, what popped in my mind.
You're talking about Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
I was hoping they were going to do a sequel to that movie.
I would love to see a sequel. That's one of the most underrated comedies of all time.
And Samuel Jackson is in that movie, actually. He's in the beginning with The Rock.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
He dies.
One of the funniest scenes ever when they're like, "There goes my," and they're jumping off the building. That's the best.
Just immediately die. That's a great movie. Let's see. More sequels. The Meg 2 is coming because fuck you. You'll go see it.
Yeah. Anyone and everyone will go see it. Probably not, but.
This movie sucked.
Jason Statham. He tried. He tried at least.
I told you when we reviewed this, there's like 6 books.
Books?
Yeah, they could keep going with this story.
What's a book? About the Meg?
Yeah, that's where the story is from.
Who wrote these books?
I have zero idea. As soon as I read that out loud, I just pushed it out of my brain.
Imagine going to see the Meg 2 and just like, wow, this one actually didn't really coincide with the books. And people are just like, what are you fucking talking about?
That guy?
There's books?
Yeah, there's a shitload of books. More importantly, Mike Myers has confirmed that Austin Powers 4 is in the works with the same director, a guy named Jay Roach. When asked why Myers took so much time off, he referred to the 3 kids that he's had in the last 6 years. This dude is 55, and he's still, well, he's not popping out kids, but his wife is.
He had his first kid at 49.
Damn.
right? Is that his?
Yeah. He's 55.
He only has 3 kids. He's not just referring to 3 of the whatever kids he has.
I have zero idea.
Okay.
But still, that's kind of crazy. He's just like, all right, I'm going to pop out some more little... He's going to have an actual mini-me.
Get in your belly.
Oh, man, I just remembered that Vern Troyer died.
Who? Oh, mini-me?
That sucks. How are they going to do this without mini-me?
It was a while ago, dude. That was like...
Yeah, I just remembered it, though.
I know. Yeah, it's sad, though.
That reminds me, I watched In Bruges on Netflix.
Is that a movie with him in it?
No, it's Colin Farrell.
Okay.
But there's a little person in the movie, and Colin Farrell just goes in on this guy. And he's talking to this little person about how, oh, all these midgets kill themselves, and they usually drink themselves to death. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking Colin Farrell would, though, in a movie. But he probably wanted to do that in real life, too.
Speaking of shitbags in real life, did you see that Alec Baldwin got arrested again?
Yeah.
He beat some dude up for a parking spot in New York.
What an asshole.
What is wrong with these people? They have everything.
I don't know.
God, fuck that.
They think they're entitled.
Let's get back to the news.
But we watch their movies. So
I know. I actually love Alec Baldwin's acting.
Yeah.
But he's a shitbag. Speaking of shitbags, Ridley Scott will be giving us a sequel to the Best Picture winner Gladiator somehow.
Why is he a shitbag?
He's not.
You just don't
really
like
like his movies. He does say shitty things about superhero movies, but whatever. Anyways, I don't know how this is going to work because Maximus and an entire family are dead. So...
What about his best friend, the black guy? He was in...
I guess...
Wasn't he in Blood Diamond, I think? I'm trying to think of what movies.
I mean, this movie's, what, 12 years old? Older than that?
But they could do a spinoff with him, you know?
I guess.
He's the one that buries his little figure and everything in the dirt. I
don't hate it. You know, it's fine. It's going to be written by the same guy who wrote The Town, a guy named Peter Craig. That was an excellent movie. Gladiator's excellent. So
just do right by the soundtrack. Just get the soundtrack right. I'm serious. That soundtrack is amazing.
That's the only thing you care about.
Obviously, the movie should be good, but make sure the soundtrack is on point.
Fair enough. All right, we got a Dead movie, too, to go along with our sequels here. This would have been a lot sweeter if Brick was present, so I could gloat to him about it, but the Boba Fett solo movie is dead, just like Boba Fett is, because he's a terrible bounty hunter and sucks at killing and surviving.
Not to Brick, though. Brick, that's his number one video game player.
That's because he knows nothing about Star Wars.
He just likes the fact that he has the little jetpacks and can fly around.
Yeah, he just plays as him in Battlefield, and he's like, oh no, he's a super badass.
Yeah. And he goes, pew, 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 and kills people.
Just like peas.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, but this movie's dead, and I think that's probably for the best. They need to take a break with these Star Wars movies for, I don't know, 3 years, maybe?
But they won't.
No, they won't. All right, this was interesting. We were talking about anime earlier. Andy Muschietti, who is the guy who directed It, and he's doing It Chapter 2 right now. He's going to direct a live-action English adaptation of Attack on Titan.
What do you mean by English? The language or English?
They did a Japanese live-action Attack on Titan 3 years ago.
Okay.
So this is going to be Americanized Hollywood Attack on Titan.
Okay. I was thinking it would take place in England.
No.
Okay.
I mean in English.
That's what I was asking. Is this just the language you're referring to or the actual location?
If they did this as a super dark rated R movie, it could be really good.
Yeah.
I never saw the Japanese live action version, but I have seen the cartoon.
It could be really good and really fucking scary.
Exactly.
If they're on point with the CGI and everything of the giants.
Yes. And depending on what studio's doing this, I think it's Paramount. They have the money to dump into it, so could be cool.
This is a big deal, I'm sure, to a lot of people, so I would be surprised if they butcher it. They're going to throw a shit ton of money at this, I'm sure.
Who's going to be Aaron?
I don't know.
Tom Holland.
Do you have an idea? Tom Holland?
I don't know. Danny DeVito.
Who are going to be the parents at the beginning?
That's a great question. Danny DeVito or The Rock. Or both. They're just married to each other.
Okay. You could do that.
All right. A beardless Henry Cavill appeared in a teaser for Netflix's upcoming The Witcher adaptation. I know nothing about this series, but this still got me really pumped.
Yeah. I think they can do a little bit more to get him looking a little bit closer to
Geralt.
God, I always want to say Gerald.
It's close.
Just like, no, it's not the guy from Hey Arnold. Yeah, like the scars on his face. I actually was talking with somebody on Instagram about this. He brought up the scars, he or she, I forget. But I don't know if this was their finished product or not. He still looked great.
He literally just walks up to the camera, takes a swig out of a bottle.
Yeah. He needs a little more.
Have a beard, though?
He needs a little more ruggedness.
Why is every time Henry Cavill's on screen, we're talking about his facial hair or lack thereof?
I don't know.
This man is cursed.
I don't know. It just bothers me, especially with medieval shows, Game of Thrones, when it looks like they're like getting their eyebrows done. I'm like, that shit doesn't go on in that time period.
He's got a
like,
spray tan.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. But we'll see. He looks good right now. I don't think that's the finished look of him. Maybe it is, but
probably
I'm
not.
so excited as fuck for this.
Yeah, that's exactly what the point of this was, just to get people really excited.
Yeah.
But speaking of Game of Thrones, Season 8 is going to end with the largest scale battle ever shown on television, according to Entertainment Weekly. So there had been these rumors that this final battle sequence took 2 months to shoot, which is a really long time. But apparently that was a gross underestimation, and that was only to shoot the night portion of the battle. And it's more than just that.
Is this a bad...
HBO is spending movie budget type dollars on each episode of this. They're spending $10 million per episode. This is going to be massive.
Yeah. Is this going to be a battle that goes from night to morning?
It has to be.
It's going to be that crazy.
I mean, if they're still shooting it.
What other movie battles come to mind when you think epicness?
See, that's tough because I always jump to giant CGI battles like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings in the works, yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars had a couple with the Clone Wars, but that was kind of shitty.
Braveheart,
absolutely. Never seen it. We've had that argument on this show before, right?
What?
That I've never seen Braveheart.
I honestly haven't seen all Braveheart either. I've seen the battle, though, of course.
Somebody called me out for that. I can't remember who, but...
It's a long-ass movie,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Also, fuck him. I don't give a shit. All right, Mark, I got some DC news for you.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Ewan McGregor is everywhere now, including the DC Birds of Prey flick. He's going to take on Harley Quinn, Huntress, and Black Canary as Black Mask.
Super underrated villain, in my opinion. I am very excited for this.
I love him as an actor. He's excellent.
Can't wait to see him in that white suit. Well, I hope white suit. They just keep it the typical Black Mask.
But why do you get a big name actor if you're just going to cover his face up?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I actually own the first comic book when he appeared. I'm trying to think of like how he really originated. Like if there's going to be scenes with him without the mask. He has his mask off.
So you think he's going to get an origin, or
I don't know, but
show him?
All I'm saying is I think there's going to be scenes where he doesn't have the mask on. So
he's basically just like a gangster, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Does he have any powers, or is he just an asshole?
No, he's just a big asshole.
Okay,
who tells people to go kill people for him, and yeah.
But he has money, so that's Black Mask.
Yep.
All right, last bit of news. According to the BBC, the titles for the upcoming four Avatar sequels
will be Avatar 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Actually, it's going to be The Way of Water.
Oh my God.
The Seed Bearer.
Oh, I just came.
The Tolkien Rider.
Oh.
And The Quest for Awa. Who cares?
But who is Awa?
I don't.
Who could that be?
We've talked about how this movie is infinitely forgettable, right?
I don't know. Zaho's got so mad. I think he listened to one of the parts where we were kind of shitting on Avatar 1. And he's
like, not that great.
You serious, dude? Do you not remember what that movie means to you? I'm like, dude, what?
What that movie means to me? I do remember I was in Phoenix and I went to see it with my little cousin. Well, he was little at the time. Now he's actually like my size and in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my memory of going to see that movie.
Did you see it in 3D though?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to.
That
was the first like big 3D release.
No, exactly. I enjoyed it when I came out of the theaters, but I think you enjoyed it a little bit less than me. Overall, I could give two shits about the names of the next 4 Avatar movies. I will still go see them, obviously, when they come out.
They're going to be blockbusters. But like, have you ever been looking through your DVD collection or looking for something to rent and you're like, I should rewatch Avatar? Of course you haven't.
No. And the other thing is, going back to books, there's not books on Avatar, right?
I don't think so. This is all just weird James Cameron shit.
Yeah, so this is all like meaningless shit. There's no books. It's not like somebody could be like, oh, well, the quest for Iwa, that could be about whatever this character in this time frame within the book series. Like, no, this is movies that haven't been made or are being made right now, and you're just giving us names from. Cool, dude. Great, James Cameron. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, I'm the one that brought it up technically, but I don't know. I'm just looking for news, man. I'm trying to fill some time here.
All right. Pissing me off right now.
But someone convinced me why I should give a shit about Avatar sequels.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's going to be a money grab. They're going to come out with so many toys.
And he's going to make a couple $1 billion. Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
he can go back to his fucking submarine and get off. Never mind.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
You're so upset. Worst man alive ever, Paul Walker.
No, dude.
He was an alleged diddler.
No, he wasn't a diddler, dude. There's no way.
He dated an underage girl.
No. Wait, did this shit just come to the surface?
No, this has been around for a while. I'm looking at this article is actually felt relatively recent, but okay. After news of the actor's death broke, the Daily Mail and In Touch Weekly both ran features of how Walker's current girlfriend, I'll skip her name here, were coping with the loss. Both of them noted that the pair began a relationship while she was 16 and he was 33.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. We're doing Paul Walker Wednesdays, though.
And before her, Walker had dated another woman, whose name I will redact, and she was allegedly 16 as well.
This can't be true.
I'm sorry for ruining your hero, but...
Dude, no.
Yeah, Mark, get me away from this. Who's your best man alive?
What the fuck, dude? I'm so mad right now. I don't even want to talk to you
We've
anymore.
talked about this before.
I'm shaking right now, dude.
Allegedly a diddler.
Okay. Was it confirmed the girl was 16?
Yeah.
God damn it, dude. God damn it.
My worst man alive is Paul Walker.
It's just upsetting. So I got to give it up. The best troops alive to the American troops. So
I'm excited to hear this.
Our U.S. troops recently landed in Iceland in Reykjavik. I guess it was in preparation for a major NATO military exercise. So when they got there, there was about, I think, between 6,000 and 7,000 soldiers that were in downtown Reykjavik. And roughly 60% of all Icelanders live in Reykjavik in the surrounding capital region. So when they were out bar hopping around, I guess they legitimately, not even being exaggerative right now, finished all the beer in Reykjavik. There was no beer left. And they were trying to run around and find more beer to like stock the bars, but there was no more beer left in Reykjavik after all the troops got done.
This is like these stories where Blackhawks fans go down to Tennessee and play the Nashville Predators, and we just like drink the whole town dry.
This is just,
except way cooler because you drank an entire country dry.
This is so fucking American.
Isn't it weird too when you hear stories about countries that are basically all just one big city?
Yeah.
Something like 80% of Canada is all within 15 miles of the U.S. border.
Yep.
It's probably more than 15 miles, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so this was taken from the article. It says local reports say bar owners had to make emergency trips to suppliers in order to keep up with the demand by the Americans. One bar owner said he and the others were, quote unquote, fighting an overwhelming force.
When you fight the U.S. military, that is correct.
Oh my God. This is pretty classic, though.
But think about it, though. It's a bunch of dudes, I should say, it's a bunch of guys and girls who haven't been able to drink for a really long time.
Yeah. And just binge drink.
And in America, you just drink shitty, low alcohol beer.
Unlike Bush.
No, not Bush.
Not
they
Busch
don't have
Light.
Bush in Reykjavik, though.
Yeah.
What do you think what kind of beer do they have in Iceland?
Ooh. Well, I've actually been to Reykjavik, and I cannot honestly think of any beer that I remember that was... I don't even think they have like Bud Light. Maybe they do. I have no idea.
But they don't have like a local beer?
I
what do they mostly drink there? Is it just straight up booze?
I think they drink beer. They drink a lot of vodka, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, you really took in the culture while you were there.
I don't know, dude. I'll tell you one thing. It's really expensive there, but that is because their whole economy basically thrives on the tourism from other countries. So it's super cheap. If any of you guys listening ever are thinking about doing a Euro trip, you should start in Reykjavik. You should fly to Iceland, start there, because the flight from America one way to Reykjavik is like $300. It's ridiculous. And the airline is amazing too. Like everyone gets their own TV in front of them, movies galore. So, and it's not that far of a flight either.
What time of year did you go?
I went in the summer. So it was, the sun basically never went down. It got a little gloomy, but came right back up.
That sounds like my dream. I hate when there's no sunlight.
Yeah.
That is the polar opposite of Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess in the winter, it's the same thing there. But yeah, like 30 days a night in that shit, that's my fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I cannot do that. But yeah, what I was saying is Reykjavik is actually pretty expensive because it's so cheap to get there. So, and I honestly didn't really care for the food. I thought it was just decent for the price you were ending up paying. You were paying like to go out and sit down at a restaurant around $60, $70 a plate.
Don't they have like weird fish?
Oh yeah, we ate fermented shark in like a coffee cafe that was so outdated. Basically had like macaroni yellow painted walls, just like that kind of vibe. It was so gross.
Why would you eat fermented shark?
I wanted to take in the culture, Smithers, just like you mentioned. So I ate fermented shark because that's what the fucking Vikings do, dude, from Reykjavik.
Okay, fair enough.
But fermented shark is literally the most disgusting thing you will ever experience in your life if you ever want to experience it. It is similar to eating a cube of mercury, I would compare it to.
What?
It would be like when you ingest it, I honestly don't really know what straight mercury would taste like. I just assume it's really like metally and irony. And it's like you would be burping that up for hours and you feel so weird after eating it. I wasn't back to normal until like 3 hours later after eating this cube of fermented shark. It was disgusting. It's rotten shark is what it is.
That sounds terrible.
It was the dumbest thing.
Jesus. All right, I got a best candy alive. So for Halloween, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups set up this giant vending machine on Fifth Avenue in New York City, called it the Candy Converter.
Ooh.
So basically you dump in your shit candy, like candy corn, Tootsie Rolls, other bullshit, and you get Reese's in return. Reese's are universally loved. If you meet somebody who doesn't like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, run away. Because they're either an alien or a psychopath.
What's better than a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? I would say a Reese's Peanut Butter Egg. Have you ever had one?
Yep.
The Easter eggs they do. Oh my God.
I really like the mini bites.
Yeah.
And you throw them in the freezer.
You just pop a couple in.
Oh, dude, delicious. Reese's top 3 candy of all time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, I got a best man alive. Worst.
Okay.
This guy named Tex, because of course he's named Tex. He was on his way to hunt some jackrabbits in New Mexico. So he loads up his pickup with his guns and his 3 dogs. One of them, his name's Charlie, just being a dog, doing dog type shit. He got his paw stuck on the trigger of this guy's shotgun, which subsequently goes off and shoots Tex in the shoulder.
Oh my God.
So he's the worst man alive because he kept a loaded gun in his truck with his dogs just running around. How fucking stupid is that?
Oh my God.
But
dumbass.
He's also the best man alive because he totally took the blame, didn't take it out on the dog. He's quoted as saying, Charlie didn't mean to do it. He's a good dog.
He's a good boy.
I mean, he's an attempted murderer, but he's a good boy. A lot of people, a lot of assholes, I guess, would like get the dog put down or something just for being a fucking dog. No, the dog's just being a dog. He doesn't know he's going to shoot you. I mean, unless he's a really smart dog and you're a piece of shit.
It was an accident. I don't think they would put it down.
Or was it?
I don't know. That's a good point.
It's the dog uprising. Yeah, but anyways, at least this guy realizes that he's a moron because that's really fucking stupid.
That's pretty stupid. But what else would you expect from a guy named Tex?
In New Mexico, yeah.
Tex-Mex.
I wonder. God damn it. I wonder if the cops found the meth in his truck. All right, let's move on to our movie review of the week. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is the story?
I was just going to say, thank God Brick's not here because he'd be singing the entire time, but you took care of that for us.
I got it.
So this is 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, 94% from fans. This kind of makes sense. This is a popcorn flick, but not in the traditional giant explosion, superhero fight kind of popcorn flick way. Would you agree?
Yeah, it gets you excited, gives you chills throughout.
So the production of this movie was kind of mired in controversy and bullshit. We're generally going to avoid this because Bryan Singer has a very dark past that he's allegedly a diddler, and we'll leave it at that. A lot of alleged diddlers this episode.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here in the world.
But anyways, he was fired a little bit over halfway through this film because it was after Thanksgiving and he just basically didn't show up for a week. So they fired him, but the Directors Guild rules say that you can only have one director, so he gets the credit. After he got fired, a guy named Dexter Fletcher took over. I don't know why I'm telling you this, just kind of seemed important. Now, some of the people who actually knew the band, Jim Beach, who they refer to as Miami in the film.
Yeah.
Miami Beach.
That was great.
He was one of the producers of this. And also some other members of Queen did stand in as creative consultants, so they were trying to get the story right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The budget was right around $50 million, and the early box office numbers project about $30 million domestically for the opening weekend. Not bad. It'll be okay. This movie stars Rami Malek and a gigantic set of horse teeth.
Yeah.
A bunch of actors that I don't really recognize. The dude who was Archangel in X-Men is the drummer.
Yeah.
We got Littlefinger himself, Aidan Murphy, and a cameo by Mike Myers as a record exec. I did not expect that, and I didn't even realize it was him until the second time they showed him.
I had to lean over to Kelly when she was watching this with me and go, hey, do you know that's Austin Powers right there? She's like, oh my God, it is.
He was wearing those big, goofy, like, fogged glasses and shit.
Yeah, and he had a full beard and long hair. Yeah, it was hard to notice. It was kind of hard to recognize him.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with Rami Malek. I personally really like him as an actor. He has great range. This was weird. I had a really hard time taking him seriously with the teeth.
I agree with you. I think the teeth were a little bit overdone. I feel like they should have just... You can go look at pictures of Freddie Mercury. I get what they're trying to do. I just feel like they might have gone a little bit overboard with...
He had big teeth.
Yeah.
But not that big.
It might actually be the structure of Rami Malek's face. Like that might have been what was doing it, but it looked a little bit ridiculous and not as similar to what Freddie Mercury really did look like. He had those big teeth because he had the extra incisors.
Oh, they made sure to point that out in the movie.
There were some scenes where he looked just like it. Like the side profile when he was singing sometimes looked spot on, but at other times when he did like his little smirk smiles and things like that, I was like, I don't know if that really looks that much like Freddie Mercury.
I thought it was more when he just wasn't saying anything and he's like trying to figure out what to do with these giant teeth.
Yeah.
And if you watch an interview with Freddie Mercury, that's not how he talked. He didn't have a lisp. I don't know. It just wasn't spot on. And it's not Rami Malek's fault. I thought he did very well acting wise in this movie.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of the movements down, a lot of the over the top flamboyance. He's really good. And he might be up for some award consideration for this portrayal.
I think he should be, though, too. We can get into it. Are we going to spoil this or no?
Yeah, because this is basically a retelling. Everybody knows Freddie Mercury got AIDS and died.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
I think he should be recognized if that means maybe being put up for some awards. Because I think there were some moments throughout this movie where he did such a good job at portraying Freddie Mercury. It was amazing.
And if you only know him from Mr. Robot, this is drastically different.
Yeah.
So he really does have range. He's been in like Night of the Museum and shit like that too, but he is actually Egyptian. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And also, I didn't know that Freddie Mercury was Indian.
Yeah. I guess he... His dad didn't look that Indian. Like if you pull up, I got home.
They're not specifically Indian. It's
but they look
on the name of the country. But
no, they look ethnically pretty Indian in the movie. They look more like Rami Malek because Rami Malek did have the skin tone as Freddie Mercury. I would say they look more. Their skin tone looks more like Freddie Mercury's in real life. They made him look pretty much really Indian in this movie, which. Yeah. You'll look at pictures, but still, it was a well put together movie, I think.
So this was originally supposed to be played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and they split up due to creative differences. I don't know what kind of movie that would have been. Obviously, he can grow a good mustache, as we saw in Borat, but I don't...
Is he a stay in your lane, bro type of actor?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's had serious roles. I can't think of any right now, but I would not have taken him seriously as Freddie Mercury.
I don't think anyone would, to be honest.
Rami Malek did actually sing a few of the parts in this, but the obvious stuff was either cuts of Freddie Mercury himself singing or this dude named Mark Martel, who I had never heard of, but holy shit, does he sound like Freddie Mercury when he sings.
Oh, yeah. You could find him on YouTube. I'm pretty sure how he blew up is through YouTube.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Well, so he's a Canadian Christian rock singer, but Google this shit and watch it. He won a contest that was basically like a Queen, Sound Like Queen competition. And he does a thing where he plays at the piano, Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's excellent.
He's spot on.
Yeah, I don't know how this guy isn't more well known just for that. If he looked more, I don't know, not the way that he looks, not Canadian, he probably could have just played Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Queen, but I'm definitely not what I would consider to be like a band historian.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, did you watch anything in this and say, well, that's blatantly wrong?
Not blatantly wrong. I couldn't tell you how they came to write Bohemian Rhapsody and things like that, but I have watched a lot of footage of Queen when they played live shows, and I will say this, the end, I think, it's very popcorny, just feel good, get you out of your seat, give you chills type moment. We'll talk about the structure of the movie, and at times it was all over the place.
It really was.
But the ending of this movie may be some of the best parts. It may be the best part in the whole movie.
The music is by far the best part of this movie.
And the reason I say that is because Rami Malek, when he was up on stage, if you watch the Live Aid concert, which I think everyone should go on YouTube and actually watch that freaking concert because it's not overly exaggerated how many people were at that event. He was spot on, just the movements and going through the set and each song, it was exactly what they did at Live Aid, and just the like the crowd interaction part too. I'm like, please do that, because that's some of the best Freddie Mercury shit you'll see is when he does the interaction stuff with the crowd, and they did a great job at capturing that too.
It was really cool. I thought well, there's nothing you can do about this, but the crowd did look fake. Obviously it was CGI. It's not like you're going to get 1 million people into Wembley.
Even if they paid each of them 50 cents, it'd still be a shit ton of money because how many people were there?
So if you don't know, Live Aid was a concert in 1985.
I think
and they did a simultaneous concert in London at Wembley Stadium and one at in Philadelphia. It was Philadelphia. So they broadcast this across the world to raise money for to eradicate hunger in Africa.
Yeah.
So that was the idea. And it was like one of the most well-known concerts of all time. But I mention this because I guess people are really picking apart the way that they rewrote the timeline of this movie and the story of the band and how they got together and everything. If you don't know it, it doesn't matter because it didn't bother me. I didn't know it. But you can go back and look through a lot of the listings and shit. I don't really care about that. But the one that stuck out to me is the fact that Freddie Mercury didn't actually find out that he had AIDS until 2 years after Live Aid.
Yeah.
So that's way different than what's in the movie. And obviously, you got to have a crescendo. You got to have the climax of the film. But that's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I agree, because when they did that in the movie, it made it even more important, that Live Aid concert. The concert was important in itself as what it stood for and what they were raising money for. But from a Queen perspective, the fact that he didn't know he had AIDS till after that concert, and they made it before, that just made us watching this movie think more of the concert and the importance of it. I believe they did break up, and that was one of the first shows they did. I don't know if it was the first show. It wasn't the first, though.
They had been touring for 10 months in 1984. So they made it seem like, or even they said, we haven't played together in years. This is going to be like suicide for our band. We're going to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
They didn't. They'd been touring for 10 months.
Yeah.
I get it. You're trying to make the story a little better, but I guess we can talk about the story. It's kind of formulaic, and a lot of this shit's just really convenient. You know, the timing of stuff is rewritten. The way they get the band together, it
was a little too easy.
Exactly. They skip over a lot of that, and I get, like, you want to get to the point where they're famous and they're touring.
It went fast.
Yeah, it went too fast, I think. The pacing is just very weird because they spend a lot of time on certain records that they're making, but when they get together, they're just like, all right, 30 seconds, we're done.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about the story as a whole?
I thought it was fine, I would say. I had a problem with it. It jumped around a little bit. It was a little too fast for me, as I mentioned. There were some things I wish they would have been a little more, how do I say this? I wish they would have touched on more of their songs and how they came to create them. They did the Bohemian Rhapsody. They did Under Pressure, which was super fast too.
They didn't even mention David Bowie.
Let's talk about disco. Let me hear that bass riff. Okay, that's a cool bass riff. And okay, we just assumed they made the song like that. But I wish they would have done a little bit more of the origins of, because they have so many hits. Like even Radio Gaga, like things like that. They played that at Live Aid. I love that song. Even We Are the Champions and
Fat Bottom Girls.
They were playing a set, and then they did talk about it. They did do the doom doom the stomp thing,
which was kind of weird and convenient also.
Yeah. It's just, there's so many Queen songs. I know you have to wrap it up in the movie. You don't have all the time in the world to do it.
This movie was over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was
already dragging.
And I would also say the whole personal life of Freddie Mercury, I think they could have made it a little more interesting, you know?
So one of the big complaints of people who are actually big-time Queen fans and know Freddie Mercury's story are talking about how they removed a lot of the sordid past of Freddie. And I get that. Like, if you've got his bandmates that are acting as creative consultants or whatever, they're not going to want to share that about their friend who is dead. But also, that would have made the movie a lot more interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to show that much. It's just, we know he had struggles and obviously getting AIDS and all that stuff and coming out or just being a gay man in this era of rock and roll and having to deal with that. But they didn't really go into that much. I wish they would have gone into Freddie Mercury and his story a little bit more than they did. It was great that they brought in, a lot of the times they brought in the bandmates and they were interactive throughout the whole movie, which was cool, because the one thing I didn't want them to do is just shy away from Queen as a band and just focus on Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want them to really overlook Freddie Mercury and his story, which I kind of felt like they did.
I just don't think they did him any favors by totally glancing over the, not persecution, but public mockery that would have been made of him just for being a gay man at that time period.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, can you imagine being so mad about somebody being gay and who they decide to have sex with? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yep.
I don't know. But the timelines on this really bothered me a lot more than they should. Especially the one that stood out to me most was the day of Live Aid when they're in downtown London. Like, you're telling me he has time to track this friend of his down, you know, go see his family, have some tea, clean his giant horse teeth,
hug his dad.
Yeah. The whole dad thing, by the way, that was not wrapped up. They just totally glossed over that.
And that's another thing, like getting into his personal life, they could have really made that a significant moment. It's still, yes, it had a little bit of power in the movie, him hugging his dad, and his dad just,
I didn't feel it.
I don't know. They could have done a lot better if they would involve his family a little bit more, even though I know he kind of blew off his family in most of his life. But
they made it such a big deal in the beginning of the movie, and then they don't even talk about it for the rest of it.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were even going to show his family again at some points.
And I guess that is true. I think it's true. I'll just say it's true. Just give me credit for this. But I think it's one of the first concerts they did watch was Live Aid on the TV.
Well, that would make sense because that was the easiest one to watch.
Yeah, probably not his sister. You know, I'm assuming his sister went to some. And by the way, his sister did mention, which is another great thing about the movie, is when she met Rami Malek in character, she was just blown away. They mentioned. So that's cool too, having his sister recognize him as doing a really well job in the role.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Do we want to talk about our new rating system?
Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. I'm still trying to get the whole Instagram thing down of how I'm going to do this because I want it to be simple and not too much.
That's the thing. We have no consistency for how we rate these movies.
Yeah.
And we can call something a 10 just because we enjoyed it at the time. So what we're going to do is break it down into 3 categories.
Yep.
Technically 4. But we're just going to call it see it, stream it, or skip it. So see it, obviously, is go see it in a theater. Mm-hmm. Like, this is good enough to spend your $15 and go check it out. Stream it is, it's good enough for a watch, but wait till it hits FX, like Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah.
Skip it is pretty obvious. But we also wanted to have something out there, like maybe we're a little bit more lenient because we go to the movie theater all the time. Mm-hmm. We're there every week.
Yeah.
But we want to have like a gold star seal of approval for that movie. And we're still working out what that is.
Okay.
But we'll get there. Mark, that said, see it, stream it, or skip it.
I'm going to say see it. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's a popcorn movie. It's, as I mentioned, get out of your seat. The music is great. There's plenty of parts where you're going to have chills just having the reminiscence of Queen and their music.
How many times did you get goosebumps at this movie?
A lot.
Yeah.
So go see it in the theater. You need that surround sound. You need it on a big screen. That's the only way you're really going to truly not appreciate, but make the most of this movie is in the theater. Because if
it was made to be seen in the theater.
Exactly. If you see it on a 50-inch, it's just not going to be the same as in the theater. Yes, there are some issues with the storyline and how they set up this movie, but when it comes down to it, the music's great. Rami Malek does a phenomenal job as Freddie Mercury. So go see it in the theater.
I think I'm with you on this. I say go see it in the theater. So we should talk about this too, because I canceled my movie pass.
I'm going to cancel mine too. I think it's up late November.
I moved. Obviously, I've got different theaters now. I'm closer to AMC's. There's 2 AMC's about equidistance from me, but you pay $20 for 3 movies a week. You can see it in IMAX. You get tickets ahead of time. My point is, I saw this in IMAX.
Yeah.
And the Dolby Surround in IMAX was
unreal,
fucking intense.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. The Live Aid concert, it was like you were there. It was really, really cool. And I'm thinking now we should probably get our tickets for Aquaman to go see in IMAX and shit like that. Yeah. But for that reason and that reason only, you're going to see this for the music. Mm-hmm. And that's totally fine. Rami Malek puts on an excellent performance, but the music is what matters. And it's totally worth seeing in the theater.
Agree.
All right. You got anything else to say about this?
I don't think so. Go see it.
Perfect. All right. Let's get into our recommendations for the week. I got one for you. We've been talking about this for a while. It is the Blumhouse series of movies that are going straight to Hulu. So I texted you earlier this week, and Brick, I think he watched it on a flight. He's in Italy right now. So I'd be interested to hear his input on this. But Blumhouse is making a movie basically a month for each holiday in that corresponding month. I don't remember what they're calling it, but the first installment was like a Halloween type film, and it's called The Body.
Okay.
And basically a hitman kills a dude, wraps him up in cellophane, and it's Halloween night, and somebody slashes the tires on his car, and he basically has to find a way to deliver this body. But it's Halloween, and he's dragging this thing around in cellophane, and basically people see him and like, oh, dude, your costume is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just the hijinks of that all throughout a Halloween night. And there's twists and turns. It's not a great movie, but it's definitely worth a watch. This is a stream it.
Okay.
And you can only stream it, so that's perfect.
What platform did you say?
This is on Hulu. And it's exclusively on Hulu. They've actually released the second movie already, which is going to be Thanksgiving themed. I have not watched it yet, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
It's just dumb, schlocky, like slasher type. Not really horror, but thriller, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, so check that out.
Cool. My recommendation, I would have to say C2E2 is coming up. I believe end of March of next year.
Jesus, that is so soon.
Yeah, so
they move it up every year.
Yeah, and they just released my recommendation. Go get your badges. They just released their tickets for C2E2.
Also, my recommendation to the people who manage C2E2 is to give us press badges this year.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be amazing, and we would really
you beautiful people.
it.
You know what would be cool is if I got to, one of us got to moderate a panel.
That would be fun. Maybe one day.
I've done it before.
Yeah, you have.
I didn't moderate, but
Ace Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, Ace Comic-Con was great.
We didn't really get to talk about that either.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's going to wrap up episode 116 of the ChumpCast. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can find us on social media at the ChumpCast, or you can call or text us at 847-920-6107. Until next week.
Chumps out, motherfuckers!